This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and William Hill. Delighted today to be joined with Darren Barker. We're here at JD in Oxford Street. We're here for a massive fight week. Anthony Joshua takes on Robert Helenius. Late replacement, but still a massive event regardless. How you been, mate? How's things?
Very well. I'm here for the free trainers. Still waiting for them. Yeah, exactly. Very well, thank you. Good to be here. Nothing like AJ fight week. Yeah, so yeah, buzzing. Really looking forward to it. I'm glad the show's going ahead. I'm glad AJ's fighting. Still a massive draw, and look, there's a huge fight potentially looming. He doesn't like me saying it, but potentially talks to Wilder in January. It's an important fight. It's important that he gets the rounds and gets his eye in again. He had 12 good rounds against Franklin. Now we want to see, if I'm honest, a knockout. We want to see a brutal finish, don't we?
100%. As you said there, I think the most important thing we look at now is the fight is actually going ahead. Obviously, after all the news on Saturday, we will get into. The most important thing is that AJ's got a fight. But it's not only that AJ gets a fight, we get to see the undercard have a run out as well. So credit to Matchroom for that one.
Oh, absolutely. Look, I think AJ summed it up nicely at the presser. Said, look, there's loads of fighters on the undercards, that have worked their socks off and they deserve to get paid. And it's very important that he represents the younger lot on the card, and he's done that with real credibility. So yeah, look, I'm just buzzing. People can whinge and moan and say this and that about the opponent, but flipping heck, it's not on pay-per-view. AJ's fighting. You're going to see a destructive, explosive display, I've no doubt. So just enjoy the show. Look, I think we know in boxing, the boxing people, the real boxing people, understand who the real boxing fans are. We understand who the real fans are and who the wallies are, who just want to scream and shout and cause aggro. But if you are a real boxing fan, you'll appreciate that this is a good show and worth tuning in or turning up to. So, yeah, just try and enjoy this amazing sport that's not perfect. Do you know what I mean? We're striving to make it as good as we can, but yeah, just stop whinging. There's so much other shit going on in the world than to worry about whether a show's good or not. Just sit down and enjoy the boxing.
100%. And you say that there. Do you think in a way, especially across the years I've gone by, that boxing fans are more harder to please than ever now? And see, you look down your timeline on Twitter, someone's always got to be moaning about something on a card.
Yeah, look, it's in our nature to whinge and moan, and that's how people want to be heard these days. Not about spitting positive vibes. They just want to be the one that gets the retweet or the bite out of a fighter. I get it. I was one of those that bit early doors, but now I understand that there's bigger things to worry about than what Joe Bloggs said on Twitter. So that just enjoy this sport. Like I say, it's far from perfect, but we're striving for it to be better. Every week, every day, we're trying to make this a better sport. Please just enjoy the greatest sport in the world. Like I say, it's not perfect, but it's always stood the test of time, boxing. So yeah, in a nutshell, I'm looking forward to Saturday.
100% definitely. And you think about the sport not being perfect, that leads on to a question that, yet again, we're talking about the PEDs in the sport. I completely understand that a lot of this situation is confidential with Dillian Whyte. We don't know nothing about it, but it's still disappointing to hear a week out from a fight that this fight won't be happening. It's disappointing to hear that we're yet again having this conversation about drugs in the sport.
Yeah, and look, first and foremost, I think it's the fans that are the ones that are left disappointed. They want to see these fights. They bought tickets for these fights, and it doesn't end up happening, because of these selfish fighters. It's complicated, isn't it? But I think it needs to stop. It needs to stop because, God forbid, one day somebody gets knocked out, hurt and killed from a fighter that's been found guilty of illegal doping. So, look, like I say, boxing isn't perfect, but we're trying, and I just plead for anyone out there who's thinking of taking an illegal substance, please don't. Please don't. But it's got to stop. It does have to stop.
What did you make of Chisora's speech at the press conference where he talked about it? A very, very powerful one and speaking the mind of a lot of people. So what did you sort of make of that speech where he's saying that everyone needs to be banned for 10 years and he's saying that it didn't really come from the fighters, it came from the trainers, the coaches and S&C coaches?
Yeah, I know where he's coming from with that, but you have a fighter as a responsibility as a fighter rather, to have a look at what's going in your body. I remember when I was an amateur, we were given it was a really thick book. I was tested so often as an amateur, and if I was ever given a supplement or anything, you've got the ingredients there, you go in the book, you check it out. It's even easier now. You've got Google, you put something, put an ingredient in, you can see if it's banned or not. So I know where Daryl's coming from, but the fighter ultimately is the one putting the substances in the body, so has to take the responsibility. But I hear where Daryl's coming from. We're all massive fans of this sport, and we want it to continue being the greatest sport in the world, and we need this to somehow stop.
100%, definitely. And as we look forward to Saturday night, hopefully AJ gets the win. He looked at a massive fight with Deontay Wilder. So do you think sort of AJ bouncing back from the Usyk defeat, back-to-back Usyk defeats, looking at 2023, potentially capping it off with a win on Saturday and then moving into a massive fight? So is there a lot of promise now for the rebuild of AJ?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know how long this journey lasts for. AJ, he's had a glittering career. I was asked the other day from Ade, how would I grade AJ's career? And I straight away said an A. You set out as an amateur boxer with the goal of being an Olympic champion. He ticked that box. He then you turn pro and the goal is to win a world title. He done that twice. You have to say his career up to date is an A. It's sport. You can win some, you can lose some. I think the star would have come if he ever become a undisputed champ or anything like that. But he's had a great career. So it will be interesting to answer your question. If he was to beat Wilder, which is a very, very difficult fight, what next? Is it to go chase the Fury fight? So his career could be wrapped up in 2 years, couldn't it? Who knows? But that's what I say. I think we should enjoy the ride while it's still here, because they're big nights when AJ fights. They're big fight weeks, and we will, whether you like it or not, this is a fact. You'll miss him when he's gone.
100%. Darren, thank you for your time. Always appreciate it. And good speech, man. Appreciate it, mate. Thank you. Cheers.